Good morning everyone, welcome to episode 2 of our new series, and today we're going to be looking at a 2018 GMC Sierra. Package is an SLE. So first we're going to start off with a quick walk around, go over a couple features, hit the road, talk about what the cars like to drive, what the trucks like to drive, and how much it's going to cost. Right, let's start. Okay, so we're going to do a quick little true walk around. Got the nice black wheels, which is part of the Z71 package. So this has got the easy lift gate at the back, so as soon as you pull, just let it go, it softly comes down. It's a very convenient feature. Once you've started using that, you don't want to go back to when you had to help it on its way down. Because it's got the Z71 package, it's got upgraded struts, and by the transfer case there's a little extra protection, so if you're going off-road, it gives you a little bit more safety. Also has the 342 axle ratio, so you can tow a little bit more than what the normal standard 308 can. So on the inside, you have your 10-way adjustable power seat. You've got your power windows. You can see we've got 4-wheel drive. You can select between 2-wheel drive, auto, 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low. And you can see this has got the split bench. So all you have to do is lift it up. Boom. 3 people can sit. But what's cool is obviously you can have a little bit of storage in here, and there's 2 USBs over here and a 12 volt. But you can still lift up this part. And I say that, and I can't find it. Oh, there it is. And you can store some more stuff into there, which is pretty cool. And then we come to the back. You can see just a normal rear bench. Got your armrest with cup holders. And the both rear seats do come up, so it gives you a pretty decent amount of room for putting down whatever you need, whether it's tools or just maybe a cooler or something like that. And you can stack it all the way to the roof. And as you can see, there's a backup camera in this truck, but it does have the rear defrosting on the window, which is going to be very helpful in winter time. And you can see in the front, because it's got the I think it's the Kodiac package or Kodiac package, you get the dual climate control, so the driver and passenger can have different temperature control. Also this truck, because it has the Z71 package, has the hill descent control, and you also get the bed light. So just above where the rear window is back here, there's a light, so that there's a light you can touch and it lights up the back of the bed. And then as we hop in, I'm just going to turn the ignition on. Turn the truck on. And now you can see the menu So
this vehicle is in demonstration mode, connected by OnStar's high-speed 4G connection. Press the blue OnStar button to learn more.
thank you. So here's the backup camera. You can cycle through. It's pretty easy to use. We do not need teen driver mode yet. Radio. And then all your gauges up front here. You have cruise control and your voice activated control for the phone. Let's see, you've got your garage remote here that you can use. A little extra storage up here for your sunglasses. Your trailer control. Your manual control for gears. If you obviously going up a hill and you need to pre-select a gear, you do that. And I think it's time we take it for a spin. This truck is obviously not loaded with features, but it is a truck that would suit all your needs as a multi-purpose vehicle. I mean, if you have family, but you need it for work as well, but you know you need the truck, but you don't want to spend a ton of money. Obviously, things like heated seats, leather, bigger wheels, park sensors front and rear, all those things are nice features to have, but they're not essential. So the reason behind us picking this truck is that it's not only, you know, practical in all ways, but it's affordable, and it's got enough features where you don't feel like you're being left, feeling short for what you get. So I think personally it's a good all-round truck. The black wheels with the black accents, the black paint, give it kind of a meaner look. It makes, you wouldn't say that you're driving I don't want to say the words, more basic, but you don't get the sense that it's an entry-level truck. So, I mean, I think this is the one I chose. We'll talk about payments quickly once we get on the road, and we'll go from there. See you in a bit. Okay. Take it for a spin.
This vehicle is in demonstration mode, connected by OnStar's high-speed 4G connection. Press the blue OnStar button to learn more.
Thank you. The one thing that's gotten much better over the years with trucks is steering feel. I've always been a huge advocate of the way the car feels in terms of steering. I'm not a big fan of when it feels like it's very overly electronic or disconnected from the road. Like you can't feel any feedback from the steering. So in other words, like when you go over a bump, you would actually feel that come back through the steering column and into your hands. You would notice the difference. But so far it feels pretty good. It's a nice weight. It's not too light. It doesn't feel like you could move it with your finger, but it's not overly light where you could spin it around like this. It has a meaty feel to it. I think you can see it. No, you can't quite see it, but you can switch easily switch while you're on the road between two-wheel drive and auto. It says on the front there 4-wheel drive, shift in progress, and then you can just switch it back if you wanted. You do have a child lock for the rear windows as well, so they can't open them. Automatic headlights. The seats are actually pretty comfortable too. They've got a nice pitch on them. Obviously it's got the 10-way adjustable seat, so you can customize it, but it doesn't feel like it's too flat. So your legs don't feel like they're going too kind of like straight like this. They have a little bit of an angle to them. Get the highway, The truck is actually quite nicely sprung, so it's not got that wallowy feel. To me it feels like it's a bit more maybe even on the jittery side, which obviously is geared towards for, this truck is designed to be taking a heavy workload day in and day out, so the leaf springs at the back obviously make the ride feel a bit more jumpy, but there's no doubt that it's rugged, and it's better than it feeling like it wallows around. Around the bends, it's pretty good for a truck. I'll be the first to admit I've never been the biggest person I've never been someone that's been a big fan of trucks outside of if you need one for practicality. But I've driven a ton now, and I don't feel like they're that large to move around. Often people get worried about large vehicles when they're driving, but I don't notice it. The mirrors are really nice and easy to look out of. They are shallower mirror in terms of height, but the width makes up for that, and then you feel like you've got a nice wide field of view. And the 5.3 litre V8 in here is more than peppy enough. Even though it's got the 342 axle ratio, you don't feel shortchanged for momentum pushing forward. And the transmission gearbox is pretty spot on. It's a 6-speed, but very smooth, doesn't clank into the gears. And all around the truck is pretty quiet. I'm sure the camera will pick up a little bit of road noise, but I'm not wearing an attached microphone, and I'm sure you can hear me just fine. The towing capacity I think is around 7,200 pounds, but I'll confirm that when we get back. I'll put a little asterisk there if I made a mistake. The one nice thing about having the split bench when it's down is it's pretty high up, so your arm kind of just relaxes on there quite nicely. It doesn't feel like it's too low. You don't feel like your arm's way down there. The uprated shock absorbers or strut setup is actually quite nice. I think that's probably the jitter I was feeling earlier, but over bumps it's solid, but the rebound is not like a clank. It's really like smooth. I don't know if anybody's ever driven something like a Jeep Wrangler. Generally, when you go over them, you know, it feels like it's a hit, and it kind of has this little gentle wallow. This has none of that at all. It feels really like as you go over it, it takes the dampening really well, and then just comes straight back up. I know it's not something spoken about that much, but the brakes, obviously I haven't gone anywhere near their capabilities, but the pedal feel is nice. It's not too sharp in the beginning. It's pretty modular, which is what you want from braking, because obviously at high speeds or low speeds you don't want it to be like on and off. You want it to be as modular as possible. That helps, you know, with stability under braking. So, in terms of how much this truck would cost, if you were looking to finance something like this and you weren't going to put any money down, you know, you need as long a term as possible, and when I say within reason, as long a term as possible, like 84 months, which is about 7 years. If you took fees, taxes, everything inclusive, it's probably going to cost you about, for this truck as it sits, about $301 bi-weekly. And so, you know, if you equate that $300 every 2 weeks for a truck that gives you everything is great value. And in terms of if you were going to lease this, if you were going to do a 48-month lease, I think it's about $295 if you're going to lease it over 4 years. Both are good options, but the deciding factor would be if you're going to take finance or if you're going to take lease. If you're doing exceptionally high mileage, you'll probably want to go for the financing to avoid the penalties for the kilometers. But if you know that, you know, you're buying this truck now, but the long-term goal is to get into maybe a bigger truck, or just a model slightly higher in specification, then leasing might be a good option as well. Purely because you're not going to have to battle if you after 2 years, you're not going to have to battle with your possible negative equity from taking a finance. So, you know, if you know this is not going to be a long-term truck, I would say lease it for the $295 a month. If you know that you're going to do high mileage and you're going to keep it, do financing. Either way, it's a truck that's, you know, at that price point is you know, it's fantastic. And it is 0%, I believe, on the financing, and then for the lease rate, it's 0.9%. So I mean, you're not battling with interest. You're paying pretty much all principal towards the truck, either way. And if you're worried about the lease, saying, well, I'm not going to have any equity, well, I mean, it's going to, if you take it over 84 months or 7 years, it's probably going to take you 4 or 5 years to get your equity. So I wouldn't stress about that. But yeah, I think that this truck is a good all-round truck, with having the black wheels, the black paint from the outside, and other little bits of accents with some of the chrome. It gives the truck a very premium feel. It's got a lot of great features inside. It's a good all-round truck for everything. If you need it for work, if you need it for the family, I think it's great value for money. Anyway, and on that note, we are back. What I'll do is I'll actually put up the little snippet of, you can see the payments and the interest rate for both, so you can have a look at, and I'll do a couple of extra videos of the truck on the walk around, just going around it, some, you know, so you can see a little more detail in some of the patches. Alright guys, thanks for watching, see you again soon.